Welcome to the Prospect Podcast. Welcome to the Prospect Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Schumann and myself, Derek DePascal, right? We will, you were here every single time. Coach Schumann will be joining us momentarily. We have a very special guest here. We look forward to it. The Prospect Podcast, recently we've just hit our 200th episode or show or whatever you want to call it. We get viewership, guys, that we thank you for tuning into it.
I think you muted yourself. Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
No,
Sorry.
You're good. One second.
I think it broke up right before you finished your sentence, so I didn't hear the question. Go ahead. Sorry, what was that?
Oh, you're good, Blair. You're good, Blair. You're good. Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, look, the Prospect Podcast is something that's differentiated across the board, in terms of guests and audience and all that. And I think that's something that we really pride ourselves on. Today we have a very special guest, Coach Blair Vaughan, from Sam Houston State. And he will kind of touch on his path and where he's come from and his actual role within the program itself. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Coach Blair Vaughan, thank you for coming on, Coach. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys having me. So, just a little background on myself is I lived in a small town, Jacksonville, Illinois, ended up moving to Clearwater, Florida when I was 10 years old. From there, I was fortunate to play some good high school ball, play against some guys that were getting recruited at a high level. So luckily, I was able to continue my journey playing football. I used to, about 50 pounds ago, I was a fullback.
I went the other way, Coach. I went the other way. Played safety.
I know, that's why I like that. I like the old man wins hat, man. I love it. I love the old man.
Yeah.
I was fortunate to play ball at Western Kentucky University, played there for 5 years, and I hit the jackpot as far as my mentors go. I had a strength coach my sophomore year that had so much passion and energy. Like every day was so entertaining. And I always tell my athletes, like, we want to make hard work fun. And Joe Madej did exactly that. So I was a chemistry major. I quickly switched over to exercise science when I found out you can do this for a living. So switched my major over, ended up getting a new strength coach, Justin Lovett, for my final 3 seasons. He's been the head strength coach for the LA Rams for the past several years too. So Super Bowl winning strength conditioning coach. So I couldn't ask for better people to guide and mentor me. After I was done playing, I actually interned for Thomas Stallworth for a few months before I headed out to Ohio State. Thomas Stallworth became the head strength coach for the Atlanta Falcons. I was with Mickey Marotti for a full football season, which was fantastic.
Wow.
He is, he's the best there is. He just won his 4th national championship as a head strength conditioning coach. He's been a head strength coach at the Power 4 level since I think he was 23. So just, I remember one time he said, everything you do or will try, I've done it before. So this is what I believe works best. So, still feel free to do your thing, but this is what I believe works best. And, so a lot of what I do is from that program. And then a lot of what I do is also from West Point in Arizona. So I, try not to skip ahead too far, but got my first paid job at Robert Morris University. I was only there for one football season, just 7 months. And then I got offered a job at United States Military Academy, where I spent 3 years at Army. I was fortunate that a couple of guys ahead of me went and took some good high-paying jobs at Power 4 level. And, I was able to bump up to the top assistant in just one season at 26 years old.
Wow.
They thought I was doing a good job. So the next year they promoted me again to the associate head strength coach. From there, I went down out west to Arizona and was the associate head strength coach there. Luckily, got to spend 2 seasons there, one with Jed Fish, one with Coach Brennan, and I got to meet a lot of really, really good people. And so I've been really blessed and fortunate to kind of be around the globe. And now I'm here in Texas. So I'm under the shade today because it's the sun is out, and it's luckily it's not too humid right now, but still getting used to. I was spoiled with the dry weather out there in Arizona. Here you can step foot outside at 7 a.m. you break a sweat. So, but no, that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
That's a little bit about me. I guess my role was, I'm the strength conditioning coach, so I program everything, and luckily, our head coach, I believe I work for the best head coach in the country, and Phil Longo, he's just such an outstanding
Jersey guy, man.
Oh yeah, he was just there for his vacation about a week or two ago. So yeah, Jersey guy. He's talk about a guy that talks the talk but walks the walk. I mean, everything he does is for our players, and I'm really fortunate that he really values what we do from a strength conditioning perspective, and not just lifts or runs. He wants me involved in everything. And actually, it's funny because the first time he called me, I was actually at the Army-Navy tailgate down there in D.C. So he called me in the parking lot, and we spoke for about 45 minutes, and he said, I have some homework for you. I want you to put together what a weekly schedule of practice, what fall camp would look like as if you were programming it as a head coach or whatever. I want to run an NFL style program. So I would like for you to present me that during your interview. So I was really lucky because I was like, easy. I got a couple NFL guys that'll pick them right now. So and like I said, I'm lucky to have that. I'm very fortunate. I might not have this job without those guys, So
right.
So Coach Longo has always valued me and what we do, and I was one of the first guys that he hired, so I really was able to set the standard and set the tone of our culture. And it's been nice. I'm always going to stay humble, but I've been fortunate to get some attaboys here and there already. But it's so funny just because I remember in that first interview that I was at the Army-Navy game, is that at the end of the conversation he said, Blair, let me tell you what, you actually remind me a lot of myself. And I'm like, get the hell out of here. Like, there's no way. This is mid 50-year-old man that's going into being a head coach, and I'm a 31-year-old dude that's trying to get his first strength conditioning job. But it's too funny because oftentimes our topic of conversation, how we're developing the culture of this program, like you would think we actually have discussions closed doors about like what we're going to say to the team on this day, that day, or based off how they respond or whatever. But that's never the case. Like we're always on the same exact page, and Coach Longo he's all about his whole thing is character and production, and the character's got to come first. We want really good people, and unfortunately him and his recruiting staff has hired a lot of really high character athletes. So it's really awesome because they take football really serious here in Texas. They do. So we attitude and effort are two non-negotiables in our program, and I'll tell you what, like we don't have to ever coach that up. Like our kids are so awesome. They're so responsive. They take any criticism super well. So I guess it's a little bit about me and myself and what I do. Obviously I program all the X's and O's from what we do in the weight room and on the field and everything like that. So heavily involved in the calendar and I guess what we do from an operational standpoint, so.
Right. And Coach, so you are specifically football, right? Like that is the only sport you work with.
Yep.
Football specific. How many staffers do you have under, like, who works with you directly in that strength? I'm sure you have some GAs or whatever. Just so how do the logistics of that work, like your staff specifically?
So it's awesome. I have a great staff, and we're fortunate to have at least 5 coaches at every single lift, which is fantastic. So Andrew Hacker, he's my top assistant really, and he's also the head strength coach of baseball, and he's been here for I think 4 years, kind of worked as a GA and then worked his way up, and he's he is so much smarter than me than I was at 25. He's probably smarter than I am now, so he can get anything done, and he's really good at what he does. So he assists me big time. We also have a football only GA, Jackson Rushmeyer, that's with me full time.
Awesome.
Outside of that, we sometimes have coach rotate because we're handling other teams, right? Sam
Right.
Houston, we just moved up from FCS just a couple of years ago.
Yep.
This is going on year 3, so we're still working on improving some things here and there. But I'm really fortunate to have Trevor Williams. He's the director of Olympics. He's been here for about 10 seasons. Rock star coach, rock star. He just turned 40 a few months ago, and he's really, really, really good. So I'm lucky to have him. He coaches every lift and run. He's not a guy that's necessarily on my staff that I have him do tasks, because he oversees everything, right? He oversees all the other sports. Right. But he's a guy that shows up to every single lift and run, and he coaches his ass off. So really fortunate to have him. And then we have a GA coach, Rachel Campbell. She's a rock star coach. I think she's 23 years old, and she don't care that they're football players, just coaches her ass off. So we have 3 interns right now for the summer. We didn't have any interns to start in the winter, but I keep I try to be as efficient and effective as possible. Obviously we want to train results, but if it's going to be such a crazy workload and we'll only get like a micro fraction of progress, and we're putting ourselves at a situation to overwork ourselves to do one simple task, we're not going to do it. Like, we're always going to do what's best for the kids, but it's got to be reasonable, and I want to take care of my staff. And, I'm fortunate. They do everything that I ask so far, and they coach their ass off. And, we only do 2 lift groups at a time right now. So we do the big boys, and then we do the skill and combo, and we're doing a lot more position specific stuff for the summer months. But we have a group from 7 to 9, and then the next group is from 9 to 11. So we coach our asses off for 4 straight hours, but then, that's it for football. So we're able to be fresh and be recharged. And so it's not like we're dying to get out of the building as quickly as possible, So it's been really, really good. So I have an awesome.
And I know that's I know that's important, Coach, right? Because at FCS level now, in that transition to FBS, right? Like that the allotted amount of time that whether it be coaches or strength guys, like that's all documented and that's all part of it. So when you're talking about Coach Longo making you like one of the hires, absolutely, you see that across the board whenever it comes to a new coaching hire. The first guy usually brought into that building, well, might be matched now by the GM, right? Like, because that's a big thing now, right? So the strength guy is always like one of the key hires because of the amount of time invested, right? Where the strength guys are with the players sometimes more so than the position coaches, because position coaches are out on the road and they're recruiting and they're doing this and they're doing that. Your strength staff has to be something that is of another level, and I think that's kind of part of the way that a lot of new hire coaches structure their programs is, hey, this guy's going to have more time with these players than I am. So just talk about that a little bit in terms of like, how much time you actually spend with these guys, even more so than just, their lift, I don't know, they have their lifting groups and right now, but specifically, especially in the summer, how many guys stay on campus, say in the summer?
Oh, they all stay like right across the street from us. So it's great. It's convenient for them, but it's also convenient for us. And, summer's a great time where there's Sam Houston, I think they have over 20,000 students, but a lot of people aren't here on campus. So it's really just them. They can focus on ball, but we're spending, we're allowed 8 hours per week in the summer for care hours. And we pretty much use all 8 just about every single week, So I tell the recruits when they come on their visits, you better like your strength coach because you're going to spend more time with me than anyone else, and the guys
Absolutely.
that have transferred from Division I places, they know that. They know that.
Yes.
So I was really lucky to, be hired so quickly and get working on board. And, Coach Longo, one of the reasons why he said he hired me is because he knew he wouldn't have to micromanage me. He knew I could lead the room and get the job done at an extremely high level. And, like I said, I've really been blessed to work for him because he lets me do whatever the hell I want. I mean, he hasn't asked for anything,
And you know what? He gets it. You know what I mean? He's one of those few head coaches that, like, hey, look, he's been at high level, right? Like he's seen Division I programs, absolutely, and he's seen some that work, and he's seen some that maybe not so much, right? And look, you've been across your stops. You know, everybody's got their binder of like, look, you learn something and take something from every place you've been, and even with your diverse background, right? Because look, obviously being at West Point is way different than being out in Arizona, right? So like just the structure parameters of how certain things kind of move forward. Give me some of the staple principles, Coach, that when you guys came in, you know, whether it be Coach Longo or you yourself, like what are some of the staple pinpoints of your strength program and that part of Sam Houston?
Well, I should have mentioned another guy that mentored me too at Ohio State was Phil Matus. And Phil Matus, he's the head strength coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers now. He's awesome.
Yes, he is, buddy.
But he talks about what you're talking about right now. He calls them the gold nuggets. So you take those gold nuggets from every school you've been at, you know, some more than other places, but, you know, they're important. And, you know, so you take those gold nuggets and you try to develop them into your own program. But for me, you know, one thing that I know is that we talked about it at West Point all the time is that high expectations cannot survive low standards. So we're going to have extremely high standards. We want to win the Conference USA, and we speak it into existence. But I know that, like, if we have high expectations, then we cannot accomplish that if we have low standards. So first and foremost, we're going to set the standards. We're going to set the rules. My first presentation to the team, you know, was with the rest of the coaching staff. So I told them the rules of what it takes just to walk into the weight room. And then when they got into the weight room, we went up to the TV and I gave them another 5 to 10 minute PowerPoint of what the rules and the expectations were when you get in here and how we're going to work and how we're going to operate. So number one is setting the standard. And then everything we do, it's got to be, we need to be organized. We need to be efficient and effective. And we're going to absolutely master the basics. We are going to get savagely elite at the fundamentals. You know, I believe that training through full range of motion is what's going to increase the athlete durability and mitigate any injuries that do occur. So we're going to train through full range of motion. My number one goal is that I want our team to be physically dominant. And so we need to be able to win the line of scrimmage on Saturdays. If my training, if what we do doesn't show up on Saturdays, then why are we even doing it? Then why are we doing it? So, like I said, we train the bigs and the skill and combo separately. And like our sole mission this summer is to win the line of scrimmage, right? I see it in the hat, low man wins. So we're training some strong lower bodies, you know. We're going to get a lot of our volume through sets rather than reps. So, you know, for example, our big boys, they had it twice this summer. They did 14 sets of 2 on back squat, 14 sets of 2. And, you know, you think some guys fatigue. Well, we had guys hitting PR doubles on the 14th set of back squat. So those are just some of my philosophies, right? Having absolutely perfect technique, training the full range of motion. I guess another philosophy of me is we're going to train speed year round. So we're going to sprint. A lot of people like kind of nix the speed work during spring ball or fall camp or in season. We're not going to do that. We're going to sprint year round and we're going to be healthy year round. And since I've been here, we have not had a true hamstring pull. We've had a couple spasms where a guy might have a tight hamstring for a day or two, and then he's sprinting full speed. Like we had 2 guys get a hamstring spasm the other day where they were a little limited, and then they come back. That was Saturday. They were a little limited, and they come back on Monday and they're sprinting full speed. So there's no issues there, right? So that's because of the volume of speed work we've done all year long is keeping ourselves healthy. And then 2, to go along with it, is you get faster, right? That's the best part about it. Is yesterday when we did our final speed testing, we had 50% of our team hit a lifetime speed to PR. 50%, which is huge. We were hoping for 25, 30, and we got exactly half of our team to hit a PR in one day. So, like I said, guys are gonna be PRing in speed in season. So that's sorry to be long. I can talk shop all day. No. So, I appreciate that. That's it.
Good.
That's a good
Coach. Coach Schumann, you with us?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Hey, Coach, how are you? I appreciate you having me on.
No, it's great. It's great having you on. Sorry, running a few minutes behind here, but glad we get it started. Well, I know you went into your background and everything, and how you got to where you are. Talk about the importance of speed, because we bring on a lot of guys, and we talk a lot about it, and there's this balance between speed development and performance, and then obviously strength development. What does that look like for you?
Well, it's only getting more and more important as the years progress, right? As the decades progress, everyone wants speed. I mean, a lot of these, it kind of used to be back in the day. I was a wrestler in high school. It used to be a lot of football coaches were recruiting people with a wrestling background or multi-sport athlete, and now they're kind of trending towards the track guys, right? So it's critically important to have game-breaking speed, and we tested those numbers 3 weeks ago at the distances we ran yesterday, and our team average went up a half mile per hour. So in 3 weeks, we got a half mile per hour faster, which, obviously not everyone's going to PR on the same day, but as an average, we move that up. But speed's everything. And I've been fortunate to, I wasn't micromanaged when I was on other staffs. So people really let me kind of do what I wanted. And I've been able to work with a lot of people that are smarter than me and pick their brains and stuff. So Coach Hughes gave me the autonomy to kind of build out our speed program. So me and Brandon Reyes really worked on some of those things when I was a lot younger. And, some things you test and you like, and some things you don't. But I think that's doing what you want to do is a lot more important, and you learn a lot more than just what you read from the books, what they tell you to do. So I have different philosophies for a lot of things. I just got hit up yesterday to do a presentation about really anything I wanted to. And I'm going to talk about hip extension and how that it enhances explosiveness and speed work, and I think it's probably the most underlooked quality that there is, because you can get so much faster and so stay so much more healthier and durable if you have hip extension. So when I went to Arizona, John Shaw, he's now the director of speed development for the Tennessee Titans. He was on staff.
He'll be on in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, that's my guy. Good. Yeah. He's such a good
He's the best,
dude.
bro.
He's awesome. I tell him, I give him so much credit all the time, because I have a 16-month-old son, 16 month, and he's got 4 kids, and he's 42, 43 years old now. But he coaches in the NFL, and then he goes to all their practices, their sports, and he coaches them too. He's not just going up and going and trying.
No, he's in it.
But no, it was really, really good, because I go to Arizona, I'm like, oh, and this is a Power 4 program. This is a big time thing. And John has been doing this for a really long time. And I kind of shared with him exactly what I was doing at West Point with those guys. And we were on the exact same page. So I was like, oh, like that was a boost in my confidence alone, just to know that I was on the right track. And then, us two could collaborate on a lot of things. And man, we had those guys, the turf was already hot in Arizona, but it got hotter when we were sprinting out there. So, that's been his philosophy for a while, is speed work year round. It gets you faster and it keeps you healthy. And that's exactly what we're doing here. I think it was the day before the spring game, we tested speed work, right? A lot of people are afraid to sprint before spring games or in season and stuff like that. Well, we had, I think it was 42 or something like that % of our team hit a PR the day before the spring game. And then, so that means they're primed, they're ready to rock. And, that typically means the training's in line with what you're doing. So it is everything. One of my old coworkers used to say, like, football is not just about how strong you are. It's about how fast can you be strong. So explosiveness and speed is everything.
Yeah, it's really interesting, because it's so, like, we've talked to so many different guys, and obviously speed is always at a premium in a sport. I mean, that's obvious, because you can see guys score and then how to develop it. You talked about hip extension and hip development, those hip flexors and then the extensions and for change of direction, internal, external rotation, and all that kind of
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
It's interesting because there are, like, I guess now guys are starting to develop it, but yeah, you see as those areas get developed, gains really massive improve as long as you continue to stretch along with it, be able to strengthen and stretch. And talk about what, obviously from a visual standpoint, you could see why that is, but for a long time, people didn't train. They just thought like, squatting would develop that overall like explosiveness. Now, obviously, everyone's known the ability to drive with the hip drive really makes a huge difference. Talk about that.
Well, I mean, so we're gonna squat the hell out of our guys first and foremost too. So It's not that squat doesn't develop it.
No,
there's other things that can enhance it too. Right? It's how can you mobility is key. Mobility is key. And we do FRC, functional range conditioning, and I've been doing that for years at the college setting, and it's really helped out. And you see a lot of guys where, position coaches are like, oh, this guy's a good football player, but he's a little stiff. Well, guess what? You don't have to be stiff anymore, right? Well, this guy needs to develop. He needs to get stronger. You can get stronger. People thought that you just couldn't fix stiff. Well, you can fix being stiff. You actually can. And we had a running back, Mike Wiley, who was, I could be wrong, he either played 4 or 5 years, but I know it was his last year to play at University of Arizona. And I'm not kidding. Like, Mike had no internal external rotation of his hip, and he had a bad back. I kept hearing that Mike had a bad back, and he needed a lot of mobility work. He did, and he was a stud running back. He was our starting running back at University of Arizona. He plays for the Washington Commanders now. But this is a testament to Mike and what he did, but he's just had such unbelievable work ethic, is that he worked on mobility. He did FRC every day. And we do it as a team. We did it at Arizona once or twice a week, but that's not enough. You got to be more consistent with it. So I would see Mike come in the weight room every single day, and he'd hit the few exercises that I told him would help him. And I'm not kidding. He did that from January till the end of his high school career. I bet that he still does some of that FRC stuff in the NFL right now. But Mike PR'd on everything. And you're talking about a guy that's 22 years old or so. Like, those guys, like, they should be almost at their peak, their top, right? They should have their cup almost all the way full by the time they get to their senior year, you would think, right? But Mike invested so much time in mobility that his power clean, his explosiveness, his acceleration, his speed, right? His flying tens, his max velocity on GPS, all those things literally PR'd in every single way. So it is a absolute game changer. I have guys hit me up all the time. Some of my former athletes still talking about how they use it and how it's kept them healthy and how they're feeling better. And that's what I tell my guys is chances are, if you feel good, you are going to play good. So it's going to increase athletic performance. I talked about hip extension. Well, hip extension, if I can extend my hip longer, that means I could push into the ground longer, which means if I put more force in the ground, I move faster. So if you have better hip extension, you will move faster. And like I said, most people don't have bad low backs. Their low back might be spasming out because their hip flexors are tight, right? We live in a day now where society, everyone sits on their butt most of the time. Sorry, I'm standing up right now. You guys are sitting on your butts getting tight hip flexors.
We are fine.
I'm messing with you.
Absolutely no hip flexors being used right now. Nothing.
Zero.
I'm messing with you guys.
Zero strength and zero athleticism being used.
So
absolutely not.
No, but I'm just saying, no, we live in a society where if we're sedentary for such a long time, and that's a huge thing when these guys come off breaks, when they're traveling in the car for 5+ hours on the way there, on the way back, it's like, coach, my back's tight. Well, no duh, because you didn't do anything over break, right? You need to do some mobility. You need to hit the field once or twice, whatever that is, right? So our hip flexors get tight. But if our hip flexors are tight, that's going to inhibit our glutes. And when we're sprinting, we want our glutes to be working a lot. And when our glutes aren't working because we lack hip extension, then that means our hamstrings are doing a lot of the work. And if our hamstrings are doing too much work, that's when we have a little bit of an issue, whether it's a pull, it's a spasm, it's just overuse, right? So, mobility is absolutely key. And the more I the older I've gotten, I guess, is I keep things super basic. And I used to have a lot bigger library on exercises that I did in FRC, and it's kind of trimmed down, and it's kept guys really, really healthy. And, like I said before, I really want to master the basics. And so if I tell them to, hey, go do this 90-90 series, do this and that, like they know exactly what that is. They know how many reps to do. They know the intent at which they need to do it at. So it's changed things a lot, but a little bit about FRC is that force is the best way our body adapts. So like if you want to run fast, right, if you want to get faster, you have to run fast. If you jog at 75%, you're not getting faster. Okay, if you want to jump high, you have to jump high. You have to put a lot of force in the ground to get up there. If you jump at 70% effort, you're not going to be able to jump higher over time. So the same goes with FRC, right? If I put as much force as possible into that joint capsule, then slowly, that thing's going to open up. So that's just the way our body adapts. And so no matter what we're doing, we want to be intentional with everything. So
does that mean that like with any kind of exercise you guys are doing, or almost everything is full explosiveness, or is it?
Yeah. And I mean, like I tell our guys, even when we're doing, heavy doubles on back squat, is that our you train all the qualities working up to heavy. Like if you're working strength that day, well, guess what? All your warm-up sets might be training different qualities: speed, strength, speed, like all those qualities, right? Because we still want to develop power. If we still go slow every single time, right, we're not hitting those ranges of 0.9 meters per second on a back squat, 0.8, 0.7. Like gradually the bar should get a little bit slower in everything you do. And obviously the twitchier you are, the faster that bar stays as you work closer to your 1 rep max. But yeah, we want to, we do have a holistic approach. So we do want to train all those qualities all together. Like when we do tempo runs, right? We did 12 tempo runs today, and that is we don't want to hit over 70% of our max velocity. But what I do want is I don't want us to jog off the line and then get to 70%. I want us to sprint, dead ass sprint, to 70% of your top speed. So they are humming off the line when they hear that whistle. They are hauling ass, because what? Now I get 12 more reps of acceleration, and then I hold 70% of my max velocity for the remaining duration. So, and that's, like I said, and then you're getting more yardage under your feet at that 70%. So that's only better, right? So, yeah, everything we do, we could train like a little different quality here, different quality there, right? So, or even though we're doing tempo runs conditioning, they think it's conditioning. It's more conditioning for their hamstrings, but we're working acceleration too, so.
What about recovery? So like, what do you do, especially as you're getting ready for the season, right? Like everybody's trying to get them ready. What element of this is conditioning development, and what element is pure speed development, and where's rest kind of involved in there too?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, so part of the reason why we could train speed so aggressively is, one, we do it year round, and two, you don't, like, people think you have to do so much of it. You don't. Like our speed days, like if we take out the warm up, what the actual work we do is typically less than 30 minutes. Like right. We are never on the field for a full hour on max velocity day. We're never, because they don't need that much time out there. And then I'm also giving them adequate rest time. And then one great example to use is for every 10 yards that you ask them to sprint, right, they have to rest a minute per 10 yards. So if you do a 40-yard dash, they need to rest 4 minutes in between reps for full recovery. So that's kind of the template we've followed for a long time. Is I want them fully recovered, and they'll kind of, a lot of things we do, we waterfall it down so I could see every single individual player, then blow the whistle, and they all go at the same time. And now I can't coach everybody at once.
Right.
But they'll load their shin angle and they'll get ready to go. And I'll constantly say, like, hold up, let's go. I said, are you guys ready to go? Are you out of breath whatsoever? Are you ready to rock? Do you feel 100% recovered? And they give me that thumbs up, and I'm like, all right, let's hit the next rep. So recovery is huge in everything, and that's with lifting weights too, right? So for example, if we're working strength, we are going to get adequate rest time. I am not, and it depends how heavy we're going, but I am not going to blow the whistle. Every set we do in the weight room is on me. So I'm not going to blow the whistle unless we get
That's awesome too.
At least 3 minutes of rest. And I've been at places where it's like, there's only 2 guys a rack and it's kind of you go, I go, and I'm like, bro, I'm not going to set you up for failure. You just did 87% for a double. It was really hard. If you give yourself 75 seconds rest to go hit 90+%, you're going to fail. You're not going to get 1 rep. You're not going to get 1. So if we're going to work strength, look at the textbook. You have to rest. So like I said, we're going to get, if I'm doing 14 sets at 2, like, guess what? I pretty much do 2 hours a day. Like if we're on the field for 35 minutes for max velocity with our bigs, then guess what? We're going to squat for an hour. And then we'll do our accessories for the remaining time that we have left available. Okay. But like I said, 14 sets too, I got to give them adequate rest time. Otherwise, you're not training strength. You might think you are, but there's still so much more left in the tank. There's a reason why guys can keep going up in weight on that 14th set and hit PRs, because they're having rest time in between. If I was cooking the books and they were going at 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes rest, guys wouldn't add weight. I had guys, like I said, and I'm impressed with high school strength conditioning nowadays, because I have 2 freshmen that literally hit 455 with perfect technique on their 14th set. Like, it's super, super impressive to see. And it's not just them, but I'm giving a shout out to all the high school strength conditioning, because it's.
And you're in Texas.
I'm in Texas. So they do a hell of a job.
Different. You got to know where they come from, Coach. Believe me,
no
it's
doubt.
not all like that. But
They're
you
awesome.
can definitely see it. Absolutely. I mean,
they
take their.
You can see it here in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, we said it, right?
It was like I'm not kidding. My guys at Arizona and my guys at West Point, I had a few athletes over the years from like Katy, Texas, and Katy's got some good football. These kids were always so developed when they came in, and it was funny because when I go from West Point to Arizona, they're like, "Oh yeah, I got some former teammates up there," and I go, "Yeah, those guys were dudes. Like, they came in, they made an impact on their teammates right away, And so
Absolutely.
We have so many guys from the area, the Houston, the Dallas area, and we have a good portion of our guys from Texas, and even the guys that we bring in from out of state, they fit right into the culture right away. Because if everyone else is going to do it, then guess what? You're going to be an outlier if you don't work hard and have a great attitude. So
100%.
Like I said, it makes my job.
You're not recruiting guys that wouldn't fit if they were from out of state, because you can get so many of what you need right in state, and so if they come from out of state, they've got to be able to be on par with those guys. Yeah,
and that's the thing is nowadays the transfer portal is such a big thing, but 70% of transfers go to a school within 3 hours of where they're really from. So we got and Texas is one of the few states as well where there's good guys that don't get offers, right? There's some other schools where the talent's okay and some of the top guys get offered, but here we have, obviously the top guys are always going to get offered here, but there's that medium level guys that are still Division I football players that don't get that many offers that could be Power 4 level guys. And, we're able to recruit those guys and get a lot of guys in. So, credit to the last coaching staff. We obviously are building off what they did, but, they won 10 games in their second year at the FBS level, which is really, really, really hard to do. So, we have one goal in mind to win the Conference USA Championship. So, every day we're working towards that. We're mission focused. But yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry I go on constant tangents, but
it's good.
Recovery is everything. And our basically how our summer has looked is that Monday is going to be a max velocity day with lower body strength work. Tuesday is going to be upper body strength with our tempo runs. Wednesday is going to be our FRC recovery day. And so that's also the big weigh-in day that we have in the summer. So we just did 2 really hard days. Now guys are pushing the calories to make a bigger weight. So, and really that's so that they recover for Thursday, right? Because if guys are in a caloric deficit, they're not going to recover. So big weigh-in day, big FRC mobility day. And like I said, at some point in time, you can do all the cold tub, you can do all the massage therapy and this and that, but stress is stress. everything to the body is stress in one way, shape, or form. So although some things might make you feel better, it might actually have a negative effect on your central nervous system. So my FRC, we're going to be intentional with what we do, but we're not going to do a crazy amount of reps so that they can feel recovered. They go into Thursday. Thursday's acceleration day, more dynamic effort, lower body. And then Friday is going to be a more it's typically our cut-based change direction day. That's a really tough field day, and then we'll do like an upper body repeated effort, more volume work with our upper body. So call that Get Big Friday. They leave there feeling pretty good and pumped up.
That's awesome. The central nervous system stuff. Talk about like how you view the impact of that, and because that's a relatively new thing in sports performance in the last handful of years, you know.
Yep.
And not everybody understands exactly what that means. Like we've had Tony Holler on, he's explained it his version, so and so, you know, other guys. But what does that mean to you? Like what are the important elements of it, and what are you trying to get accomplished, stimulated?
I mean, your central nervous system is everything. It is how you feel, how you recover. And one thing I took away from Coach Mick at Ohio State was he told us it's not about what you do, it's about what you can recover from. So if we have the toughest, most physically demanding workouts, but you can't recover from it, then you're just going to get beat down. You're going to end up hurt, and it's not going to increase your athletic performance. So we have to make sure that these guys are recovering week to week. But like I said, on that interview, I reached out to those NFL coaches and I asked them what they do, what their practice schedule looks like. And obviously, like, it's really not too different from what we've done in the past at other places I've been at, because I work for high-level people too that are really, really good strength coaches, really good football coaches. But what I explained to you, that weekly workout, was that is a high-low model, okay? Monday's a high day, Tuesday's a low day. Wednesday is definitely a low day because that's our off day, our FRC recovery day. Thursday's a high day, that's acceleration. And then Friday is going to be more of a medium day. That's our cut-based change direction and stuff like that. So I presented that to Coach Longo too about scheduling practice. So actually I scheduled our entire fall camp practicing, and we're going to sit down here soon, and we're going to go over what days we want to be high days and what days we want to be low days. And I'll give Colin Carroll at Arizona a shout out because, it's not just how long you spend on the field, it's the intensity, right? It's duration and intensity. So at Arizona, they do open field, which is where you let the and really this impacts the skill guys more than anyone else, but you let them run their deep routes, right? They're running their fades, they're running their posts, they're doing all of that. Well, then we do a close day. So open versus close. Close is going to be more red zone based day, okay? So, and sometimes we say, hey, those close days, we are not opening up. I don't want to see guys hitting PRs on max velocity or anything like that. We're not covering kicks in practice on that day. So really, we just want to keep the main thing. And that goes with strength conditioning. That goes with how we practice. But it's all about recovery. So in fall camp, we'll go 3 days on, 1 day off, because we are emphasizing recovery. It's not what I did when I was a freshman. It's not 5 straight days of 2-a-days, full pad of practice, and then you get a day off where you spend the whole day in the building and workouts and shit like that. Like, no, our guys have to recover. So, on those off days for us in camp, right, we're not going to work out every single day of fall camp, obviously, but on days we're in there, our lifts will really be 30, 40 minutes long. They're not going to be an hour plus or anything like that. And then there's going to be some days where we have meeting times where the guys are going to come in the weight room, might take them through a band stretch, might have FRC that day. I might take them to the pool to do a little bit of recovery movement, right? Movement's the best medicine. I tell my guys that all the time, okay? The worst thing you do is sit around and do nothing for any type of trying to get rehab any type of injury. So, and we might even I'll even bring them in and we might do some breath work and some meditation. And I'm not kidding, they'll be dead exhausted. Half the team will fall asleep in the weight room. So, which is good though, right? Like I said, stress is stress. So we want to bring their central nervous system down sometimes. So it's the central nervous system is everything. And like I said, credit to Coach Mick. That was one huge takeaway that I took from him is it's not about what you do. It's about what you can recover from. I'm not trying, another thing is I want to set our athletes up for success, whether it's on the field or out there. Everyone's been a part of that school where the biggest kid on the team, hasn't finished conditioning circuit all summer or something like that. It's Well, why not? Why did you not set that kid up for success? Like, I'm going to try to set everyone up for success, and we're going to make things really, really hard, but we're going to have a really high standard. If we can't do it right, we're going to do it over and over and over again until we get it done. But, we do some tough conditioning work. I mean, tough, but we didn't have anybody drop out, and not because it wasn't too hard. I think it was because the culture of our team, like our guys weren't going to allow anybody to drop out, but I also believe in setting them up for success. So I wanted to, everything I programmed, I said, if they fail, if they screw up the drill, if they can't finish the drill, if they pull a hamstring doing these tempo runs, whatever it may be, then like that's on me. I didn't set them up for success. So I want to take the blame on everything. So yes, central nervous system is everything. I mean, you gotta constantly, as you know, and I heard a coach say this, I can't recall who, but I heard it on a podcast, and I say it to the recruits too, is I am your stress manager. A strength coach in college football is their stress manager. So that's what we have to do in today's day and age,
That's a great point. How do you measure things to keep everything on track? Like what kind of tools are you using, and how do you kind of calculate that kind of stuff so you can see over time where they're at?
Yeah, so I mean, we're going to track a lot of things. We're going to obviously we're going to linearly periodize like what we do on the field. So each week, the sprint volume, the conditioning goes up a little by little. Depends if we come off a break. What do we need to do, right? If they were sitting on their butt the whole time, what do we need to do? Do we need a deload? And I think one of the best abilities is adaptability as a strength coach. Like if you write a program, like I wrote my program before the May break, right? It was done before we even got back. I have changed so many things. Now we've still kept the main thing, but I have edited sets and reps. I have changed the volume, the distance of yardage. I have, I did things on it. I cut a set of something today during the workout because I said, you know what, we just did this. We don't need that extra set right there. So you got to be able to adapt.
I feel like you guys providing now strength and conditioning or performance is really what it is. But what you're providing now too is because so many athletes, obviously in college you're specializing, right? You're able to bring in the variability aspect, the athleticism, variability development that is much different than I think, if you go back 30 years ago, maybe, or 20 years ago, even when guys were just like hitting the weights hard and running guys to death, you know what I mean, type of deal. Yeah. And that was just 20 years ago, not very long ago, right? And guys, right. I mean, maybe even less than 20 years, I would almost say, like maybe even less, right? Like
100%.
So that's changed dramatically. And I think that like in the age of specialization, even football, right? There's a certain level of specialization with the kids there as they've gotten, it's not, I mean, yes, when you get a multi-sport athlete, that's the optimal deal, dude. That they've been like kind of playing a lot of sports but that's not always the norm anymore. And you're able to inject like that variability that you get from playing a lot of sports. So not into their strength and conditioning workouts now, which I think is definitely a monumental change from just a short time ago with how guys viewed strength and conditioning in their role there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I have an exact question there, but if you have kind of, am I on the right path with some of that? I don't know if it's conscious or unconscious, but
and just, I mean, we talk about like, a lot of strength coaches do have like certain expertise things and stuff. Like I was kind of known as a mobility guy a little bit early on in my career, but I've been really, really lucky to be around a speed guy, an Olympic guy, like all these guys, a GPS guy. Like I've been around some of the best there is. And like, now I think I'm a really, really like, I didn't even know if I truthfully wanted to do Olympic lifts in my program, right? There's a million different ways to skin a cat. But then I met Brandon Reyes, and now I like to think, right? This is just my comments. I think I'm one of the best Olympic strength coaches in the country. Now, not the guys that actually qualify for the Olympics. I'm talking about at the Division I level.
Right.
And it's because of Brandon Reyes. He's unbelievable. He's such a good coach. And I like to think I know what the hell I'm doing training speed because I was around guys like John Shaw, right? So, and that goes for a lot of things. So a lot of people do specialize in one thing, but obviously the best athlete, right? He's not just explosive. He can do a lot of things. He's got great coordination. He's got good hand-eye coordination. He can slam on the brakes. He can cut on dimes, whatever it is. So there's so many different qualities we want our athletes to be good at, just like you want your strength coaches to be good at or anything. So I think it's just like I said, I think in strength conditioning, you have to have a holistic approach. You got to train at every quality in different ways. And you got to find out the best things that can translate to the game of football, because at the end of the day, like I told you, we had 50% of our team PR. It was a win. Like that was a dub for the day. And guess what? I told them, you have 2 reps to get this done. If you PR the first rep, you are done. You are not doing a second rep. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it, because it's so hard to PR twice. Like everything has to be perfect. So I had guys ask me, can I run a third? Can I run a third? I'm so close. No, like you are done. I need you catching touchdowns, making plays. If you hit a PR that's 0.02 hundredths of a second faster, then it's not going to make a difference if coach plays you on Saturdays or not. Like it's not. Like what you do out on the practice field will dictate whether you play or not. But obviously, like I said, we're training all the qualities of sport to play football. But I like to keep the main thing. We're not doing any change direction work on a max velocity today. We're not. You know, obviously they go out to practice. They train a little bit of those qualities all together. But I don't want to confuse our sprint work with conditioning, right? Or our conditioning with sprint work. I tell our athletes all the time, like I use an example, like if I told you to do a 40-yard dash, what do you think that trains? And they're like, speed. Yeah. Now, what if I tell you to do it every 30 seconds for 20 reps? And they're like, conditioning. I'm like, yeah, exactly. So we want to make sure that we don't get any of those things confused, right? And I tell my guys too, is we don't want to confuse activity with accomplishment. We want to make sure that like we're not just doing something to do it. We're doing it because it's got a purpose in our program and it's going to translate to the game of football. So we got to, like I said, big thing is we do want to train all those qualities like you're talking about, but we want to keep the main thing, you know? So
I think that's a great point. Very well said. I don't know, Coach, if you had any other questions for Coach.
Look, you could just see like and knowing of Coach Longo, right, and how like his kind of mindset when it comes to, you know, how he calls an offense or how he's going to run his program and things like that. How much of that, Coach, do you take into account when you're kind of going through your programming and setting up your system? You know, that whole vertical alignment type of we're going to go from here to here to here. How do you kind of incorporate that into your day, kind of, workout routines and all that kind of time that they have with you?
Vertical alignment. I like it. I see the Rutgers thing in the back with Coach Shiano talking about vertical alignment. I was in Ohio State too, you know.
Drinking my Kool-Aid. I drank his Kool-Aid when he spoke that. Yeah. So you
awesome guy.
You've had some time with him. Yeah, great dude.
Yeah, Coach Shiano's
but that was his whole like
100%. It's everything.
That was his whole conversation about it.
Everyone has to be on the same page. And if me and Coach if people don't understand what the mission, goal, or vision is of Coach Longo, that's going to affect everyone. I'm going to be confused, right? So if he's not telling me like, hey, this is the offense we're going to run, we're going to try to blow up the scoreboard, we're going to try to score as many points as possible, that's a lot different than Jeff Monken running the triple option at West Point. Like,
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Now, I love the triple option. I can watch that all day, but, you know, scoring a lot of points is fun. They do an awesome job. But
also, like, with you coming from, too, like, for you, right, looking at that, right, then you went to Jed Fish, who spread guy, right, like, more NFL style, right, where exactly. Now, you know, it's just how do you incorporate that into each program you are or whatever stop that we're kind of you hit on?
Yeah, so, you know, it's good because the GPS takes a lot of guesswork out of things now, too, because we obviously want to prepare them for And before you prepare them for a game, you need to prepare them for practice. So, obviously you got to collect some data, see what a normal practice looks like. And, a Tuesday practice is going to look a little different than a Wednesday. A fast Friday is going to look a lot different than a Tuesday. So you got to collect the data. You got to observe a lot of things. You got to look at position groups, positional averages, what this starter might be exposed to. Hey, do we, can another wide receiver maybe run a go route instead of this guy running every single go route? I know he's the fastest guy, but if he's in the game, they might think he's going to go deep. But so you do collect a lot of stuff, but it takes a lot of the guesswork out. But that transparency is everything. And, we have to know what his vision is. And like I said, our goal is to win the Conference USA, and Coach, has expressed that to the team, and they speak it into existence. And, I got a text from our quarterback this summer when I was on vacation. He said, "I promise you, we're going to go do it." So, we want to have a confident group. And, speaking of confidence, this is, a couple weeks ago when we're meeting as a staff, Coach Longo had brought up, if you have two players, the exact same players, and they have the exact same abilities, the exact same skill set, they're the same height and weight, we're going to go with the guy that's more confident in himself and his ability. And that's really important. And, I think that might be why I am here today. And, people constantly say, like, have no ego. But, one thing that Coach Connor Hughes taught me at West Point is, like, dude, you better have a little bit of an ego, because you better be confident that you're better than someone else. And that, it's not just as a strength. He's not talking about just a strength coach. He's talking about the players. Like, bro, you better think that you're the best right tackle on our football team. And and if you're that good, then you better think that you're the best right tackle in the conference. And if you're that good, you better think you're the best right tackle in college football. You know what I'm saying? So,
100%.
And yeah, sometimes that confidence is a little bit of ego, but that's the whole point behind it. But I think that was a really good question, and I think that's where typically and Greg Schiano said it, that's where programs fail. If they're not vertically aligned, then they fail. So it starts from the top and it trickles all the way down. And I want respect to go all over the place, no matter where it is. And I told our kids day one, it's in my PowerPoint. I could show you right now, is that my PowerPoint says, I talk about respect and how respect is earned, not given. And I tell them, well, that's bullshit. I'm going to demand it. While you are in this weight room, I am going to demand your respect. And I am going to demand that my staff treats you with respect, that you treat us with respect, that your teammates treat you with respect. I'm going to demand that my staff treats our interns with respect, no matter who it is, right? So you have to be on the same page with those things as well, because that stuff's important. You want those guys that are underneath you, whether it's, your assistants, your GAs, your interns, whoever it is, a volunteer, you want them to feel appreciated, and you want them to find value. And one thing that I always tried to do when I worked for Coach Hughes, and anybody that honestly, is make their job easier. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard Coach Longo talk about that, whether he has a GA quality control coach, whatever it is, that shares the same room with the DB's coach. Make the DB's coach job easier. Make his life easier so he can go spend some time with his family, or so he can spend a little bit more time recruiting the guy that we need, right? That's right on the border. So, Coach Longo talks about it too. It's like he hired this staff because there's a lot of good problem solvers on the staff, and that I don't even want any problems to go to Coach Longo. I want to make his job easier. I want him to not worry about any of this stuff, because I know I'm capable of handling it. And if there's ever an issue that I feel the need to communicate to Coach Longo, I absolutely 100% will. But if it's a small problem, I will take care of it every single time. But he's a head coach he wants to know everything that goes on in his program. So even of
course,
I might tell him, hey, we had a problem here. This is how it was solved. Or I might say, hey, we have a problem. This is option A, B, and C, how to fix things. My suggestions, right? Now he might give me 3 more options that are completely different, but at the same time, I'm lucky because he's not a head coach that's going to kick his feet up and relax. Like that guy works. He works. He legitimately spent hours interviewing every single person he hired on this staff, and man, he would text me during the process at like 2-3 a.m. different occasions, just like. He doesn't sleep. He just works and he does it all so that our players can have the best experience possible.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's incredible stuff. It's been great having you on the pod, man.
Absolutely.
I learned a ton, dude. You're doing unbelievable things. Your enthusiasm is infectious, and
never worked a day in my life.
That's it.
That's it.
Dude,
that's what
all the way through. You know what I mean? You're bouncing all the way through, which is fantastic. Which is how it should be. More people be a lot happier and higher performers if that's how they
if that ain't the truth.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm really lucky and fortunate. And I was on a podcast like a month ago, and they're like, "All right, here's a quick question. Like, what would you do if you weren't a strength coach?" I was like, "I have no idea. I've never even thought about anything else." Like I was signed up. I was in a chemistry major to become a pharmacist. Like there's no way I could do that now. Like there's no way. I have no idea what I would do if I weren't a strength coach. I am so lucky to be, doing what I'm doing right now and where I am. So I'm just really, really lucky. I try not to take a single day or second for granted. So,
Yeah, be glad you're not a pharmacist. When I go into that CVS, man, those guys are working. Oh my God.
Yeah, and they're miserable as shit too. Like
they look miserable. They look miserable. They're overworked and
crazy. I know.
There's always the line of people, and they're
it's getting ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Healthcare.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But
birthday.
Yeah, no doubt. It's great having you on, Coach, and we look forward to continuing to follow it, and we'll certainly have you back again as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. Anytime you guys let me know. This is my, the summer and the winter are my go mode. And then once we get in season, I tend to have a little bit more free time in the office. So, but anytime you guys need me, let me know, hit me up. I'm just humbled and appreciate you guys having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks, Coach.
I knew it was going to be a good conversation when I saw the Low Man Wins hat.
Yeah. It is what it is. Hey, it is what it is. I appreciate it, Coach. Thanks a lot. And we'll talk soon.
Anytime. Right. Yep. Have a good one, guys.
Have a great day.
Take care. Thanks, buddy.
All right, bye. That was awesome. Awesome.
Dude, he's your classic.
Your guests, man. You're nailing your guests.
You can see strength guys, dude. It seeps through their pores. Like this is like the raspy voice, right? We get after it. This is what we do, but a hell of a journey in a really short period of time, dude, to be at some big time. I mean, just talking the heavy hitters at Ohio State, just going to West Point, knowing what they do and how much impact strength and conditioning has in that type of a structured program. When we talk about the academies and that type of stuff, like if you're not crossing your T's, dotting your I's, you know what I mean, at that joint, like things are happening. And then to go work, with Jed Fish, who's an NFL guy, so you know how his structure was going to be. He gets his first opportunity to really be that guy, with Longo in Texas, which is different, a transitional program going from FCF to FBS. Like he's got a lot going to move forward. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I think it's awesome.
No, there's no doubt about it. He's making a big impact, and that's a good program. It's always been a pretty good program, and now it's an elite program in FCS. Well, are the FBS now? Were they transitioning? Yeah. So the FBS, right?
So Casey Keeler leaves to take Temple, and Longo comes in, right? I think that would Keeler took them to FBS, and now this will be year 2, I think.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. All right, cool.
Damn.
Yeah, no doubt. But you could, if you're high level FCS, you can compete with Group of 4.
100%. And lower end of group of 4, right? Like, I don't think you can just don't roll out and be like, let's go play,
I mean, who is group of 4? It's the old FCS.
Yeah, you're right.
JMU, Delaware,
and Conference USA, like, they'll make some noise. I mean, they won a national championship a couple years ago.
Yep. Like, I think that
Texas too, bro. Come on, man. Like he said,
dudes are coming in ready to go.
Caddy dude's coming in. Like, what did he say? 14-2. Woo! I don't care what you're doing. 14-2.
That was the one thing I learned from traveling all over the country.
Dudes are different.
Florida had pure speed, but there were some guys that were great route runners and stuff like that, and some that weren't. Louisiana had just unbelievable freakish athletes. Some with great technique, some not. When you got to Texas, you had freakish athletes, and all the guys were polished.
All the above.
Like, the first time I walked into a camp, and the guys were running routes, and now everybody runs good routes now, okay? But 15 years ago, it was really becoming a new thing, okay?
Right.
Like, and that was the first place I went to across the country, and I remember it was Dallas. It's a Dallas event. It's Cedar Hill. And these dudes, like, a bunch of them are in the NFL now. Oh, God, I can't believe I forgot the name. But the guy used to be –
You're just like
Burkhardt or whatever. He used to be from Nebraska. He was
running back, right?
Yeah, there was a bunch of guys. It's slipping my mind, but a bunch of guys. So they were running routes, and when the running backs like Burkhead and that's it, and some of those other guys were running route, I was like, other places running backs sometimes struggle to run routes. Dude, these guys put their foot in the ground. I was like, what? Like, running backs can run routes? So I couldn't believe just the skill. That's what it was. So skill with the athleticism, just about the same athleticism as you saw in Louisiana and Florida, but with like skill. I can't even fathom, because I haven't been back there in a few years, what it's like now. But I was shocked at how polished guys were. I was so, especially being from Jersey, like a great athlete. Sometimes they were polished, sometimes they weren't. These guys,
right? It's hit or miss here.
They were polished.
You're like, holy
facilities
shit.
They have. Yeah, these guys were
right.
Polished.
It's like the best of everything. And look, and Mike, always said that too. Like, dude, I'm in Florida. It is different. Like, I don't like. Yes, it is the attention to detail and maybe the X's and O's of the schematical breakdowns in the Northeast is maybe that a little like, but down here, like, you ain't seeing someone that runs something like this down here, dude. Like, it is just right.
And when you look at the 100-meter dash,
right. Like,
Jersey happens to have some pretty good 100-meter dash guys,
right,
for a smaller state. So I won't say that we don't, because we do, obviously. But like, right. Texas, just to make the finals, you got to be like a 10-3 guy to make the finals. Which,
right,
in New Jersey, other than this year, where the Southern regional kid is just really like a cut above everybody. Most years, 10-3 is the champion by far. So,
right. I posted this yesterday too. Rivals 300, right? And it was the states with the most guys on the Rivals 300 list, right?
Right.
So you have obviously Texas number 1, 38, Florida 2, 36, Georgia 3 with 33, California's 24, Ohio 16, and then you can guess where the other ones are from. Alabama 14, North Carolina surprisingly with 14 guys on the list, which is interesting. Louisiana 10, Mississippi 10, right? So guys always want to talk about, especially in our state where everybody's like, Jersey, like, guys, like, it just ain't the same. Like, it's just different.
The level of, sheer number of great. The other place I was shocked, like, so great point you brought up, like Mississippi and Alabama. When I went to Alabama for the first time, because it's really a smaller state. It's not a huge state. It's very good football, but it's not a huge state population-wise. And when I did a camp there, and it wasn't a big camp. It was like 100 kids, maybe 70, 80, maybe 70, 80. O.J. Howard was there. But I was shocked at how good they were. Like what was the athletes you had in 70 to 80 kids at a camp? In New Jersey, you would need to have probably 250 kids to get the same number of athletes there at it that were studs. And that was the part that, like, until
shocking.
You see it, yeah, like, until you see it live, you're like, dude, this is just a run-of-the-mill kid. Like, yeah, there are some kids that are, but like your run-of-the-mill good football player is like a freak, would be like a freak, considered a freak in New Jersey. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
absolutely.
Like your guy, like, the coach would be like, oh, we have like 5 guys like that on our team. You're like,
right. That's like the total like game changer, right? It's like I have 5 of these guys, right?
5.
Like whereas you might have half. You might have half of
half.
them.
Yeah. He does this, and this big time, but
right?
not
You're
this.
like, oh yeah. You're like, guess what? This, yeah, exactly. Like he's really good at this, but all this other stuff, not so much. But and to me, it's always surprising because, like, it's just, yes, are there more people in wherever and this and all that? It's just the structure of how, like, the Texas just does everything where it's like, this is the focal point. And not just football. Yes, football's the best.
No, because Texas now has become like that in all sports.
That's what I'm saying. Like that, like, yeah. First
soccer.
Period of
soccer,
like,
they're great now.
Saying, it's just the educational structure of it. So many things factor into sports being important that it's why they are where they are. And it is what it is. Like, until that changes, we talk and wish and hope and do whatever, but just, you're not going to be there, dude. You just can't.
No, the what you do have is, I think, when in New Jersey, if you make it from states like New Jersey, you have a chance to go all the way, I think, because you're going to continue to develop. And that's why I think you see, you've seen a lot of Rutgers guys make the NFL. You've seen a lot of, it's not just that they came from a guy that was really structured. It's that if you got a kid to Rutgers and he was from New Jersey and he was at that level and he became a star at Rutgers, he probably continued to develop. And, most even guys that are at the highest parochial schools relative to what you see on the norm at like these big states down south, there's not an overall development program. You don't have the indoor facilities, you don't have the strength. So they have that down pat. So if you start to become a star from New Jersey, you probably are really a guy that was
you're trending upwards.
You're trending upwards, right? So that's why I do think if a New Jersey guy gets to that point where he is as good, he can continue to get better and better. And that's why people view Jersey as like, there is athletes here. It's just that they're probably slightly underdeveloped.
Right. If you can find them and hit on them, you could still continue to whereas I'm sure burnout might be a big thing in Texas.
I bet you they have more burnout, right? Because they probably peak earlier. They probably have a much higher burn. I bet you even throughout most of the South, probably a higher burnout rate. Play a lot more. We may have a healthier approach, even though nothing's healthy anymore the way everything is. But but like
we might have a healthier long term.
It might have a healthier long term approach just because we don't face. We're not facing the level of scrutiny. Like, you're getting washed out early in Texas. Like, just
if
because
you're not the guy, dude, like school football, like dude, high school, like you might be.
There might be a lot of players that could have been, but probably got washed out.
Which is kind of what, that's what we just he talked about, talking about when these guys come in, they're already
there.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I don't got to teach them. We don't have to go through a hand clean progression with these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're already crushing it, hitting it. Like, it's like, oh, okay, well, you know, which is right now the way recruiting is. Guys want ready-made high school guys. Absolutely. Because they can't take the time for 3 to develop and go like whatever. Like, no, 3 years, I'm fired. So this guy's got to go perform, which.
And the Northeast, that's kind of in general, even the states that don't have as many athletes, like every once in a while you see like a guy come from like Massachusetts that makes it like
like a Pennsylvania guy, right? Like
it's always the same. Like he was kind of underdeveloped. Well, of course, he's from Massachusetts. I mean, you're freezing your what off 9 months out of the year. If somehow you make it all the way to the pros, and you're probably continue to get better if you're from Massachusetts. So 100%. Now hockey might be different because there's a million rinks,
different.
So but and you can play outside. There's outside rinks.
Dude, that's the best in your backyard.
Exactly. Like they're those guys who play football at Massachusetts probably play hockey. So which is different. Like that's not the norm here even. But yeah, that was really, really good stuff. I think that it's so interesting that, I mean, the more and more I have conversations with like dads trying to figure it out and stuff, and like you actually, there's a lot of great places to work out down where we are. Like there's more training facilities, there's more, but it's still like if you compared it to, just what's available in Texas in a town, it's not the same. Like, and that's the hard part. Like you really have to like, it was funny because I was like showing someone a face. I found the great for baseball. I got lucky. I was just kind of looking for some other travel things in baseball, just curious. And I found like a New Jersey travel baseball group. I was like, oh, so I thought it would be like more training. And there are stuff with training on there. Cause I was like, where do you go? It's not readily advertised. Like, where do you go to, if I wanted to get hitting instruction? Now I knew of a place, but I didn't like, even they didn't advertise really per se.
Not like out there. Yeah.
I've driven by it a million times. But I was just talking to a dad. And I was like, he's like, I was like, dude, I just happened to found the Facebook page because they post something. I was looking for like training, and it happens to be this kind of a page where you can not just training, but it also has like, we're looking for an 11U kid for this weekend. And there's a million posts, a million of them, a million. So
just ready to show up and play.
Yes. So, but that is a big Southern thing, by the way. I don't know if you know, but like in other sports like lacrosse, football too, 7-on-7, Derek, like they post on
where it's like a hired hand. Yeah.
Like, they post it all the time. Hey, we're going to Texas for a tournament. All our guys aren't coming. We need 2 in 12U. And then they pick up 2 in 12U. That's a huge thing in the South. So I wasn't looking for that. I was actually looking for training. But
you're like, I'm actually looking for training. Yes.
And there's a lot of training things posted on there. But the majority of it is we're looking for a guy to go to Cooperstown. He's an 11U kid.
I need a picture this weekend.
Yeah. And so I happened to send it I said, you should go. I said, oh, if you're looking for that, I'm like, this is the page, dude. This is 100% the page because I see, and I showed it to him.
It's like fantasy football, bro.
I'm telling
you. Who am I going to start this week?
Yeah, and you know what it is? Like in some of these sports, I'm even in 7-on-7, not tackle. I don't know if you could do it in tackle football, but I mean, I guess you could. You can do anything, I guess. But like I could see it in lacrosse and baseball and softball and even basketball. It's easy because, right, you need one player, you post it. There's thousands, like 15, 20,000 people on there.
You'll get a million of them.
You're going to get 5 people that are interested. And you say, well, I only have one spot. It's $100 to be a part of it. Here's what we're doing. If you want to grab it, you're in. If not, it's going to go to the next one. Whenever it's closed out, right?
Yeah, see you later. You missed your opportunity next.
Well, but there's always another opportunity. That's the crazy part. So there's no limit. I would have never known that was out there. And I just know it's a thing from the South because those guys that travel with 7-on-7, they told me like that's how they put their national teams together. Like they pick up guys down there, whoever fill in the blanks type of thing. So, but I thought that was crazy. Yeah. And so I could see how in the South, if this is going on a regular basis and you're traveling all these weekends. Herb Street had a great little thing on this. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see? He was on a pod. I don't know what pod. He's been on a bunch of pods lately. You might be able to get him on because is he like moving away from? Is he doing his own stuff or something?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I just think everybody does now. Nobody does interviews. They just do podcasts.
Maybe it's
like there's no like sit down. You know what I mean? It's just everybody's like, sure, I'll hit it.
Yeah, I'll hit it. So he was talking about how when this exact thing when he was in the summertime, when he was a kid, he's obviously around my age, maybe even older than me, I think. And they would yes, they played, they probably played all-star baseball and they had some things, right? But it didn't take up the whole summer. You still went away with your family, Right. He said even with his own son, he's seen how it's crazy how it's changed. And he's like, I feel like people have to think about, is that really worth it? Like taking away all your family time to be in he used an example, like being on Indiana in the middle of July on a tournament. Like, is that really what you want to do as opposed to maybe taking a weekend and going here?
Right. But families that's what they do. Like that is family.
That is
right. Like our focus is not going to be a week in the summer at a beach. Our family time is going to be, and look, it may also be like, we're not sitting down every night for dinner, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're at a tournament in a hotel. You know what I mean? Like it's just, you know what I mean? It's just, maybe it's quality over quantity. Maybe it's, I don't know. To me, there still is always, you can have balance. I mean, look, you're living it. You're in it, right? Right? Like you're in it. It's give and take.
Look, I shied away from, because everyone wanted to do the Wildwood tournament and this other one. I just canceled this one because it just wasn't enough teams. But I was also thinking to myself, like, I'm kind of almost in training mode. Like we're playing lacrosse, but I think of because we're not yet good enough to be like, but I think of lacrosse as training too, because like you're running around, dude. Like that's a great sport for like running and changing direction. So I think of, wow, that's not just, you're playing a game, but you got to run. You're kind of hitting people a little bit. It's kind of like,
dude, so you're doing it all.
I think of like the summer is like, dude, I want to go out and throw. Like I want to go and train. Like I don't want to get, so I shied away from that because I need July to work out. And then we're going to go on vacation too for a week. Right. So, because how are you going to get ready for the season, dude? Like that's now in high school, it probably goes completely the opposite way where like you're diving in so early now in the season and you're almost thinking like, oh my God, the season's like 9 million weeks away. And we're like, we do a lot more than the old days where you did a balance. Like when I first started coaching, we were like, even if we did 4 days a week, it wasn't like, it was an hour, you know what I mean? Like, but now everybody hits it hard.
It wasn't like it is. I mean, and to keep up with the Joneses,
right?
You know what I mean? Like you have to do right. Right. Well, why is this guy not doing that? Why is this guy not doing that? Like we're not doing that. You're doing that. I mean, to me, like guys just do a lot. Whether it's I mean, and look, and down here, bro, like they're not doing half as much. I mean, dude, there's teams up north that are, they're working out like 4 days a week, and then they're throwing with other teams 2 nights a week, right? So you got 2 hours of practice in the morning, whether it's weight room, on the field, and then turn around and we're going here to throw, or these teams are coming here where you're competing and getting after it, and you're doing that for the entire month of July. And I'm not counting your big 7-on-7 tournaments that usually happen in the end of June, whether you go to, Rutgers or Monmouth or but you're hitting it. And then, okay, here comes August and let's go. I mean, and some guys are doing workouts in helmets. Some guys are, you know what I mean? Like, you can go if you really want to, and start getting after it. I mean, none of the days count until that official, August start date, when now it's, acclimation period and this and that. But I mean, and that's not even talking about guys that, I'm fortunate we work out in the morning, which now allows, because, we want multi-sport guys. So look,
Right.
At night, go get in your basketball league, go wrestle and do your wrestling, right? Or your lacrosse, you have those opportunities. Dude, if you're a guy that's we got this, we got that, we got this, we got that, it's you're almost forcing kids into making a choice. Am I basketball or am I going to go throw a 7-on-7? You know what I'm saying? So it's just, and we get it. Football's the next season up, but look at any other season, right? Winter season, you don't get this. Spring, you don't get this. Fall season is the only time where you literally have a good month and a half, say it, whenever that, 6 weeks, a full 6 weeks of preseason before you get rolling. You know what I mean? Because you have extra time.
It's a full run up.
Because everybody's doing it, you
Yep.
gotta do it, dude. If you don't, you're gonna get lost in the sauce, dude.
You are.
I don't care who you are. Right? I don't care if you're in Old Japan, they go to 7-on-7. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Blue blood, it is what it is. But if you're not out there doing your shit, dude, you're gonna get passed up.
No, there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it.
Then you're balancing, thank God, most camp, college camp stuff is over by June. Maybe you have a couple little show, whatever here. Otherwise, now you're balancing that. Do I go to practice with my team or do I go to, camp? Am I hitting that camp?
Oh, you know who I saw? Oh, you probably see him all the time. I hadn't seen him obviously in a long time. Rich Grampanis, I saw him at the Gasecki camp. He was filming.
I see him all the time.
Yeah. It was great. I hadn't seen him, obviously. I haven't,
Oh, dude, his son is saving the world from cybersecurity,
yes,
bro.
He was saying that's what we were talking about. It was great. It was great.
One virus at a time, baby.
It was great seeing him. It was
I love seeing that, dude.
Oh yeah, he's such a good guy, Mr. Grampanis. Really, he does. I said to him, literally,
which is his? What does he do again? Is it
Jersey
what is it?
Sports
Is
Zone.
it? That's it.
I said to him, with newspapers basically covering nothing anymore. I said, what you're doing, and I know he's I wish I could cover more. You know what I mean? But I said, well, what just with what you're doing, dude, it's it keeps the pulse on it, because without newspapers covering it, really has been although the Shore, I have to give great credit to the Shore on. They have more people on X and stuff covering the games than probably any other place in the state. I think they do a better job.
I'm just telling you, I can't even imagine the amount of, because now, kids will hire media,
right,
to come and either film or, hey,
right,
a big, credentials. What are we talking about here, dude? Credentials. Oh, I'm so-and-so's cameraman. What are you doing on the sideline, dude? You know what I mean? It's not you had your writers with their notebooks that were just there, you know what I mean? Whether they were from, the Record, the Bergen Record, or Star Letter, or, the Asbury Park Press, or any of that type of stuff. Dude, now it is hey, I'm so-and-so because I run a site on X, or Okay, who the hell? Like,
and they have a big following. Some of them, right? So
Shore Savage, dude, like monstrous. Like these kids, that's all they. You know what I mean? Like that's what they look to for. Like
no, I don't see as much of the Shore. They don't do as much as they did before, though, right? He doesn't do
all
as much.
football season is wild.
Football season. Wow.
They stick to the big sports, right? Like they are pretty much whatever. Well, remember your algorithm's not in that.
I would get his stuff. I just don't get as much.
It's. I mean, I think it's the biggest one down here, obviously, and then up north, George Muha and Morris, what used to be Morris Sussex Sports, which is now Garden State Sport, like they got everything.
They do.
They cover everything. Oh yeah, it is like, and they're creeping down here. Like
now, it used to be Morris Sussex. What's it called now?
It's Garden State Sports, I think it is, or Big Sports, or Big State Sports. He runs it out of Morris County Community College.
Oh, really? Is he a teacher there or something?
No, he just this is just what he does. This is his full kind of thing, and he has a ton of people that work under him, whether it be interns or whatever.
Gave me an idea.
What's that? Think it through.
Brookdale.
Yeah, Brookdale's right in your backyard, right?
I wonder what they have multimedia wise and who helps their kids. Like we I wonder if that's I gotta look up what they have there. That's a big community college.
Yeah, Brookdale. Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's where high no.
Is it big? Is it bigger than OCC? I don't know.
I haven't been to OCC. I don't know how big OCC is.
Oh, you're talking like size wise.
I mean, it's very nice actually. I don't know what OCC looks like, so I've never been there. I don't know, but Brookdale's nice, really really nice. You know,
I mean, I know they were like SJV had a great thing with them where if you were a senior, you could go to classes and be like fully like ready to rock, which is cool. I like how the community colleges do that.
Yeah, no, that's you mean you have college classes you could take, right?
Yeah, like I had guys that were like their senior year was like, hey, I'm going to Brookdale for my classes, and that's it. Like I don't even go to high school campus. Yeah, cool. It's cool as shit.
Oh, yeah, they do have a pretty big media department. I'm thinking out loud, but I have an idea in my head of
dig into it. Do your research.
I'm curious what facilities they have there, because we could if they had a big communication department, we could get some of their guys to like almost help us with production of things. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like help us like some of the bells and whistles, which obviously we're not like we do the minimum.
It's not our forte. Yeah.
Yeah, we do the minimum. Well, it's just because time constraints.
Of course.
You only can do so many things, right? So, and be good at it. It's kind of hard. So, but yeah. Anyway, right. I'm thinking out loud. Which probably not good on
all good. All good. It's all good. Tomorrow we have Mike McCowan, who's the head coach of Collingswood High School down south, but he's been really integral in setting up the Battle at the Beach preseason, which now has, they got the number 5 team, the number 6 team, 7 team, 8 in the country coming to Ocean City, New Jersey to open their seasons. So we'll talk a little bit about that, which
that's cool. That's cool. Wow. That's amazing.
He'll be on. So we got him tomorrow at 10.
They have to pay those guys?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Or do they just want to?
We're gonna find out. Like, hey, ESPN comes in. Like, hey, we want IMG against. I mean, look, there are teams in down south that are like I don't know, dude. I think. Like, you got St. Louis, Illinois, who's like probably the best team in Illinois coming out here. Bergen Catholic, obviously, you bring them down.
East St. Louis? East St. Louis?
Yeah, they'll be here. They're coming this year. IMG, again, is coming back. like again, you know what I mean? Like you're talking, this is Ocean City, New Jersey. Yes, is it an awesome setting? 100%. It's literally on the beach, like Ferris wheel in the background. It's awesome. So we'll get to dive into that with him a little bit.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. We'll see you tomorrow then.
See you tomorrow.
All right. Bye.